The second main barrier that we identified was confusion over choosing the correct bin for compostable packaging. So there was quite a bit of difference between what the sites called the bins on their site. One site had a vegware bin and a food waste bin. As I mentioned before, not all of the compostable packaging was immediately obvious that it was vegware. Sometimes you might have to look a bit harder to find sort of the logo or read the text that was on the packaging and check the different sides. So using that wording of vegware bin might not be immediately obvious to people if they have a piece of vegware packaging in their hands or not. Another site, their bins were called compost waste, and they also had disposable coffee cups, but the coffee cups that they used on site were compostable. So there was confusion there over which bin that cup should go in. And at the third site, they had one bin for takeaway items, which was the intended compostable packaging bin, and a separate food waste bin. So a bit of confusion there over which bin was the right one to choose. And some takeaway items that were sold in the canteen also weren't compostable, so that could potentially be leading to higher contamination. On the signs that were used on site, there was also not that many visual aids. That was a lot of text-based signage, and a lot of the signage didn't reflect the packaging that was being used on site or visually show that to help people know how to dispose of it. So the intervention that we designed based on this was to have colour-coded signage that matched up with the label, with clear instructions and showing visual images of all the packaging that was used in that site. So we had adapted the signs so that they were bespoke for each canteen, but followed the same layout and design. So these were installed on the compost bins and around the compost bins in the workplaces. And there was that visual consistency there between the label on the packaging, trying to make that behaviour more automatic. So once you've learned that behaviour once, that this piece of packaging is compostable, that's what the label is telling me, the sign is telling me where to put it, and then you can just easily link up those two behaviours by recognising that colour and the logo. Also, just to explain, we went for the wording compostables bin because at two of the sites they had separate bins for food waste. So if we had gone for wording such as calling it the compost bin, it might have been more likely that people were putting food waste into that bin. So we tried to find some wording that made that distinction a bit clearer, that this bin was for compostable packaging. And also trying to build awareness, rather than calling it the vegware bin, build awareness that it's the compostables bin, so that we're educating people a bit more about what compostable means. So this is just an example of what that looks like in practice across the sites. So we adapted the designs to suit the different types of infrastructure that were used in each of the canteens. And on the right there is the label applied to some of the types of packaging.